I do enjoy this wall. It's so whimsical, and it's entering a little private garden coming through here. You know?
Absolutely. Well, it was built as almost a bastion to the wonderful kennels, which were built by the 3rd Duke of Richmond in 1787.
1787.
1787.
So the house has got a really kind of bizarre checkered architectural history, hasn't it? Because the house is
like an amalgamation of lots of
so
different
much
styles
stuff,
and different.
But this
periods.
is quite pure.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was designed by James Wyatt, with input with the 3rd Duke of Richmond.
Yeah.
There's a great quote which said that he dug the flint himself, he made the bricks himself. And
do we believe that?
Well, I'm not sure. But he was somebody who liked to get involved with things, and he had a real interest in architecture. So maybe.
But most importantly, the building is not really for human beings. It wasn't designed.
No. So this was to house the Duke of Richmond's hounds of the Charlton Hunt, and the 1st Duke of Richmond had come to Goodwood because of the hunting and to be close to the Charlton Hunt, and so this was built to act as an amazing elaborate kennel for them.
This really was a kennel.
Yeah, it was a kennel.
Because I saw a drawing, and I think it might be in this building, and it shows this, and it's described as a sort of huntsman's lodge or something. I mean,
yeah.
Did it have different purposes? Did it
so the central element of it was a house for the huntsman and also the hunt officer. But then on each wing you had 4 separate hound lodges, which had areas for sleeping with straw, and which were even heated because
so this had underfloor heating?
Well, no, it had, so at the side, on the inner walls of each side, next to the sleeping areas, it had these fantastic iron plates, which were then heated by hot water that came from the furnace in the feeding room.
Hang on a minute.
So,
this is 18th century radiators.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, and really early. So,
and they were used for providing a comfortable, warm environment for the dogs.
For the dog.
Just for the dogs.
It was all about the dog. It was all about keeping the dog in luxury.
In my mind, it sort of reassesses the role of the dog.
Absolutely.
The place that hounds took in the lives of the aristocracy and in working lives as working creatures.
Absolutely. And I think it was quite characteristic of the Duke as well, because he loved his animals. Like, this wasn't the first building he invested so much money in stables as well. So, he definitely prioritized his animals over his guests.
That thing of as you approach a building, how it ought to get better as you get nearer to it. I've just noticed these they're not stones, they're coin flints are bigger, and they're squared off.
They are squared off.
These are all very finely jointed. That's 4 millimeters, 5 millimeters. So all these bricks would have been, I guess, rubbed and carefully jointed.
And each one, specific for the location.
It's really interesting because often when you visit buildings which are built as not as follies but as objects in landscape, to be seen from a distance. Yeah. As you approach them, they disappoint almost.
Yeah.
They're kind
but
of
actually, this is even better.
Yeah.
Because you see all the little details. But it's so well set into the landscape. Like if you look from the house, I think it was designed to be looked at from the tapestry drawing room. Yeah. And it's in the centre of the tapestry drawing room, and then the wall being so sort of set into the landscape so that you don't see it, and it's sort of like a seamless pathway. Yeah.
And this is a different realm, and surprising. It's interesting looking at it with you because you're forced to kind of stop and admire and begin to sort of appreciate the quality of the detail.
Absolutely, and I also think you can really see the harmony of the building, and Wyatt was so interested in sort of the classical ideals of harmony and proportion and symmetry. And it's just completely perfect.
And yet many people will not come actually as close as this to appreciate just how kind of elegantly built it is. But it's quite something.
Absolutely, and it's the same the other side, so they're symmetrical. And what's fantastic is that when they did, because the attic windows are later. They're 100 years later for accommodation for the policemen for the races.
Oh, they're the top story.
Yeah. But actually, they've mirrored it so well. Yeah.
I'm with you. It's kind of imperceptibly well done there.
It is, because you don't notice. But if you see old photographs, you can see that it was a bit lower.
Yeah.
And also what's fun, sort of makes it more elegant, is that it's built on two different levels. So this level at the front is lower down than the back. And that was to elongate it, to make it look more elegant.
Okay, yeah. Because I guess actually, given that there's a big height difference between the road and and this land here is they
Yeah.
could sort of choose
Yeah.
whichever. I mean, Wyatt could have chosen whichever point he wanted.
Yeah.
I know it was built for dogs, but honestly, it looks like it was constructed for giant humans. The height of these doors, you know. So this is now a private members' club, isn't it? Or
Absolutely. So it was restored by the current Duke when he was Earl of March in the early 2000s, and
so quite
he
recently.
restored all. Yeah, absolutely, very recently, and he restored all of it to the original proportions, and he was really interested in making it kind of very authentic and introducing lots of detail.
Minus the dogs.
Minus the dogs.
Although I think dogs are welcome, aren't they?
Dogs are very welcome. Dogs, you can bring all your dogs.
Please do come and join us for an extraordinary, action-packed weekend of canine fun. That's Good Woof, the 20th and 21st of May this year. Good Woof!